amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings. And with every breath you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when or where or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes the deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and smile. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will
service. Thank you, Jessica. That was awesome. You guys sounded beautiful. You're amazing. Tell your neighbor, you're amazing. I got so caught up in everything that I forgot that we have a master flute magic man here. So what I want to ask y'all to do is just let's be still again for just a moment. And G, if you give us just a little taste of what you got there, just take a breath, close your eyes, feel the Holy Spirit moving. Welcome home, homies. So we have some testimony from a few homies this morning. So give it up for one of our biggest homies, Henry Cherry.
Hello, everybody. First thing I'd like to say is never doubt your mother. My mother told me about 10 years ago, she said, I am going to watch you one day preach God's word. And I told her it is not going to happen. So Mom, just for 5 minutes, you're here and I'm here where I need to be with my family, because you all are my family. You know, I remember when I first of all, let me back up, because there's something I said to someone and they said you should use it in the service. And I said, do you think so? And she said, yes. Do you know, every decision that I have made my entire life has led me right here to this moment, right now. From the moment I decided to leave home and join the military, then I re-enlisted and I came to Savannah, Georgia. From the moment I decided to get out of the military and I started the workforce, from the instant I decided to change my life, and I said, Cherry, you've got to change your life. You've got to live better. So I joined a 12-step program And in that program, we would have meetings right over here, right down the street from this church. And I would ride by here, and I never knew Unity was here. I never knew that this would be my church home. I never knew that you guys would be my new family. And there was a guy that was coming here, and he said, Cherry, why don't you come to Unity? And I said, I'm not going to church. Me and church don't get along. And he said, Cherry, you'll like Unity. And I said, I just don't feel right going to church. Well, he kept asking. So finally I said, I will go if you stop asking me. He said, that is all I want. So I pulled up in this church, and I said, I'm sitting in the back. And if people start running around with snakes, I'm getting out of here. I sat in the back, and the kids were giving out eggs that day with flowers and affirmations. And I sat back there in the back, and I cried. And I felt my heart just begin to loosen up. And then Reverend Edwin Gaines came to this church, and I was still sitting back there tight-jawed and just mad with the world. And Reverend Edwin looked at me, and she said, oh my God, some of you are sitting here and you're so angry that it's drowning you. It's drowning you, and you're going to just, you're miserable. Let it go. And I looked at her, this woman that was so powerful, and she gave such a message that I let go. And I started coming to Unity, and I started coming back and coming back. And then, you know, one day, Reverend Dale was up here singing, and he had a cold, and he said, I am going to close my eyes, and God is going to put a choir behind me. And then where's Songbird? There she is right there. Songbird ran up, Debbie ran up, and she pulled us up on the stage. And little by little, we became the choir for Unity. And I thought, oh my God, I am in a choir. And I called my mother. I called my mother. And I said, Mom, I'm in the choir. And she couldn't believe it. And then as things went on, one day I had been here for about 6 months, and Reverend Dale and Reverend Arlene were having a meeting after church. And they said for the praise and worship team to remain because they had something to say to us. And when church was over, I started heading towards the door. And Reverend Arlene said, Cherry, where are you going? And I said, well, I'm going home. And Reverend Arlene looked at me and she said, Cherry, you are part of the praise and worship team for Unity. Me. Part of a praise and worship team. I called my mom. I said, Mom, I'm part of the praise and worship team. She said, what? And then I kept coming back, you know, and then one day I got a call from Reverend Dale, and he said, I got to talk to you. Come back to church at about 6:30. And I started thinking, what have I done? What has he found out? And Reverend Dale looked at me and he said, I'm directing a play, and I think you'd be good at it. And I looked at him and I said, a play? He hands me my part. We rehearsed. We had such an awesome time. And we did that play in front of like 150 people. We had a good time, and we prayed in. And I thought to myself, we're praying in. I'm a part of a worship team. I'm part of Unity. My life has just changed so dramatically. You know, we went to sing at one of the churches downtown, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous about going here. And Marguerite was there, and Dale was there, and Mark was there, and we were the smallest choir there. And Dale fell behind that piano, and we rocked. We rocked. We had them up out of the pews singing with us. And I said, I am where I need to be, family. I'm where I need to be. But then I realized something. I hadn't joined the church yet. I'm around here reaping all the benefits and having such a good time with Unity that I hadn't joined yet. So the next class that we took, I joined.
Yes.
And I have my membership. And it's on my wall. And it says, Certificate of Membership. This certifies that Henry Cherry has been received into membership in Unity of Savannah, City of Savannah, on the 21st day of April 2013. And for that, I am always amazed and always grateful. And I just thank you, Unity. You all are my family. I have been chasing you all my entire life. You are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Your very word spoken as me. And I've been chasing all of you. And I so love all of you. And now you all are stuck with me.
Now it's time for my little angel. She's an undercover angel. She's in disguise. Yeah. She tries to act all tough. Officer Sam, Samantha Hurd, would you please come and share your testimony?
I don't know about undercover angel. I started coming to Unity about a year ago, actually. Next month will be a year. I had absolutely no idea what this was all about. I knew, though, that I did not want to come here and hear at any point during the service that if I didn't get saved, I was going to nowhere. It's not something I wanted to hear. And I was waiting very patiently for it to come out of Dale's mouth. I was waiting a whole hour. If it comes out, I thought to myself, I'm just going to stand up and I'm going to excuse myself to the bathroom and go home. I waited and kept waiting, and it never came out of his mouth. So I thought, well, I dodged a bullet with this time. And that 1 week was good. I did it, did a week, and that's all I needed to do. But I decided to come back the week after that. And I waited for it to come out. And it never came out. And next month will be a year, and here I am, still not really waiting anymore. Yesterday, Dale said to a group of us something that stuck with me. When we talk about our time at Unity, we usually go back and we talk about our past experiences or our past church experiences. I didn't grow up in a church, unless you count your grandma dragging you in really white socks and dresses, things like that. Or being a kid in church and sitting quietly and the church ushers walking by you with candy because you're sitting quietly and you have no idea what's going on, other than she threw rows back and I want my candy. I'm waiting for that candy, which is a difficult task for me, as most of you know, because I talk a lot. Long story short, I now consider myself a recovering Southern Baptist. Unity has given me massive insight into my life. It's given me a chance to stop, take a breath, and in the words of Peggi Jr., say to myself, what would love do now? Unity has given me back my life that for so long I thought was lost because I was never going to be good enough for God. By no stretch of the imagination am I perfect or hopefully one day I will be an officer though. I still yell when I get cut off in traffic, and that happened yesterday. I still get hurt when things make me feel less than great, and I still want to tell that jerk at Kroger who took the last avocado when he blew out his eyeball on it, still want to tell him how I feel. And I still do all these things, but now when I yell at that guy in traffic, I tell him to be safe, and I throw a peace sign. When I get hurt, I remind remind myself that whatever caused that hurt was for my highest good because it wasn't supposed to be on my behalf. And when that guy takes my avocado that I waited patiently for, all I think to myself is, you know, avocado's high in fat, the good fat. You enjoy it. A year ago, or even 2 years ago, I would have never been able to stand up in front of anyone. It's actually kind of difficult right now. Let alone a real spiritual family that I fit in with. So for that, I say thank you. Thank you for having my back. Thank you for holding me accountable. And thank you for bringing the Christ this morning. It's all of you that have changed my life. Not this building, but you. Every single person in here. We could be hanging out in the back of a trailer, getting pulled downtown. In freezing cold weather. Meeting at Foxy Loxy for coffee. Which, by the way, I work at Starbucks, so don't see me. Or randomly running into each other while we're out and about, just living our lives. It's in those moments, in those places, that the Christ is brought. It's in those moments that I am brought back to my center, my inner guru, and my heart, where I know the Unity community has changed my life. I have a center to go to, a still place to remember the love I've learned to have for myself, remember the love I have for every single one of you, and a reminder to give so freely the love that's given to me. Thanks.
Thank you, Sam. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you. If anybody ever embodied the idea of the word Spitfire, it's Peggy Noon. Please have her up for Peggy. You know what I was talking about her, didn't you?
I'm going to bring this with me. When Dale asked me to speak, I thought, how can I do this without crying? And then I said, forget it, I'll just enjoy the cry. Boy, Terry's story, your story, probably the whole story, it's all the same, isn't it? Running around trying to stay away from God and the church, huh? I was raised Seventh-day Adventist. My whole K through 12, I went to parochial school, except for 3 months in 3rd grade. I got to go to private school, and I came home speaking bad words. So I pretty much had church up to here. And Seventh-day Adventists, they don't mess around. They're kind of like a Jewish and a Mormon put together. We worship sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. No cartoons, no TV, no nothing, no bacon. And then, of course, the Mormon part is the house part. So anyway, I'm living in Savannah, I'm having fun. I get up every Sunday morning, can't wait to get on my boat. And as I drive through my neighborhood to get to the boat, I go down Sunset Boulevard. And I already think it's cool that somebody put a church on Sunset Boulevard. I like that. And when I drive by, I try not to run over anybody with my boat in tow, and I notice there's a Mercedes, there's a Volkswagen, there's a woman in a big church hat, there's a hippie, there's everything coming in this door. And I'm thinking, that's too. I like this. Anyway, then a friend, like the Cherry said, you know, come to church. And I'm like resisting it like everybody else does. But I finally walked in here with a friend, and there we are. So, I still can't say the C word, church, very easily. I call it a spiritual center. And if people ask, I say, we're Unity. We're the church of Latter-day Hippies. So y'all can believe it, but I started way back. I started here in the late 80s, coming in here. And then 90 to 93, I went to law school in Atlanta, and I found another union church. Then I get into law. I'm very aggressive. I'm in litigation. Oh my goodness, that wasn't good. Anyway, then I go to Charleston. I find a church there. Everywhere I go, I find unity. And I'm working on these principles. People, let me tell you, that's what I'm here to testify about, is these principles. The love, the meditation, especially the meditation, the 5 principles. If you work them, they work you. Look at me. Okay, some of y'all weren't here when I had cancer, but I had stage 4 head and neck cancer. A tumor in the back of my tongue had spread to my lymph nodes. I literally had an 8% chance of survival. I mean, it was tough. They had to saw my face in half to get back to the tumor. And then they rebuilt my mouth with my arm here. Isn't that cool? I tell you. And the whole time, as y'all might know, I was thinking of my passion, which is something Unity gave me, which is my children. Therapeutic writing for disabled children. And my health food doctor says, if you have a passion, your body wakes up every morning and it says, we gotta go. And it tells your immune system the same thing. We got to go. And then, of course, after the big, huge 10.5-hour surgery, they hit me hard with chemo and radiation. But my health food doctor was helping me get through it. And some of y'all might remember, I was down to 90 pounds, and I'd sit back there. I was going through chemo, so I couldn't get germs. So I'd sit back there with my mask on, sing my little song, with my little sewn-up tongue, again, learning to talk again, living my passion. But Arlene and Dale and this church was there the whole time. They prayed. And they made a noise that God couldn't listen. He had to listen to you. The prayer went out, and my children prayed. I think horses can pray. My horses prayed, and I tried to be brave. You go into, when they do radiation on your face, they make a mask, and they literally put you in the mask and bolt you to the table. That's not easy for jumping beings like me. So anybody know Jack Cornfield? He does a great meditation, and he has a healing meditation, and it's so funny. I take my tape recorder in there and play Jack Cornfield, because to tolerate it, they wanted to pump me full of drugs, but I didn't want the drugs, so I go in there and I plug in Jack Cornfield, the little text returned it on for me, and run out of the room. It makes you suspicious when they run out and bolt the big door. Anyway, so here's Jack Cornfield. The healing beam of light is coming through your head and healing your body now. And they thought that I had it made just with a radiation machine, because Jack Cornfield kept talking about a healing beam of light. But I'm here to tell you, if you meditate, if you give time, if you practice love, people, you don't have to be perfect. I'm so far from perfect. I mean, me of all people, and I look like this because I just came from the garden, by the way. But with unity, it doesn't matter. Me of all people, I bet I'm only working this thing 5% of what it's worth, and look what's happened. I started Pegasus Writing Academy. Y'all all supported me. You've done fundraisers for me. And right now, I'm on a piece of property that God made. It's 155 acres. A man came to me and said, I'll spend $100,000 to build you a barn on my property. If that ain't God, what can you call it? So, 3 years later, I weigh 120 pounds. I tried try to stay in the prayer meditation, and I thank God every day for Unity, for Sam, for Cherry, for all of y'all, especially for Dale. What an inspiration. We live around him, and he inspires us. Kyle becomes a preacher and writes a book. You know, I go have my own nonprofit. Look at Joanne. Look at Cherry. Look around you. We're all uplifted, and he's the leader. Thank you, Dale. Thank you.
So this morning, we had a similar service where Stephen shared and Michelle shared and Marty shared. And Marty brought a friend with it, a guy that's been here twice. And after all of us got done talking, Marty's friend stood up and said, you know, just out of the blue, he raised his hand after we did our unity blessing, and he said that it was his second time here, that he's been around a lot of churches, but this is the only one where he felt people were real. And he said to us, you have something really special here. Don't forget about that. And so when we hear these stories, we get reminded just how powerful it is to be part of this spiritual community and to have these truth teachings that we practice that change people's lives for the better. You know, we look at our vision statement, centered in God's love. Don't you feel centered in God's love this morning? And don't you feel inspired? We inspire transformation in people's lives, one heart at a time. So everybody here has a story. Don't hesitate to share it with other people, because the world needs to hear how your life is different because of unity principle. If we don't do it, who's going to? So thank you once again. Would you please stand, Sam and Peggy and Sherry, and let us honor with our unity blessing, together we say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the light of Christ shining as you. Thank you. And then we have a special treat. Marguerite has written an original song, and today she is debuting the song with the Unity Band. So very excited.